Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope your day and your week are going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. We have the NBA Cup final going on tonight, so we only have one game in tonight's slate. We've got a really good game between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Oklahoma City Thunder, an actual really solid playoff atmosphere type of game. I'm not saying the Thunder, I think, are probably going to make the NBA Finals if I had to make a pick right now. I don't know if I'd say Milwaukee's going to be there, especially when you have Boston and Cleveland in the same conference, but this has the feel of an NBA Finals game. It's a big-time matchup, and I think the league making it the only game and then also not having any games tomorrow, it kind of makes it feel like it's a big deal. So shout out the NBA for doing that, at least. The NBA Cup, I like it overall. I do think it has some flaws. It needs some things to be fixed, but overall, it's been a lot of fun, and this is obviously the end of that NBA Cup tournament. So, one game in tonight's slate. We have a nice little parlay to celebrate the NBA Cup final. It's a 4-leg parlay, plus 256 odds at the time of recording. Again, those odds might fluctuate. But first, guys, before we dive into today's parlay in the NBA Cup final, a quick little recap of how we did yesterday. Jumping right over to GuyBostonSports.com. Like I mentioned in yesterday's video, guys, from now on, all of my picks, all of my plays, the results, my records, everything now, no more Samsung Notes apps. It's all on the GuyBostonSports.com website. So, going into yesterday's picks, NBA player props from 12-16. We had 4 picks yesterday. We had 2-2 overall. Not a bad day, not a great day. I'll go ahead and zoom in here for you guys to get a little bit of a better look. So, we had LaMelo Ball over 30.5 points plus assists. That missed. He was on a minutes restriction, but he had the opportunity to cash it even though he only played 26 minutes last night. Still played enough minutes, still took a good number of shots. He missed it by 5 points plus assists. Overall, was still a solid game from LaMelo. RJ Barrett and Grady Dick, though, I was absolutely spot on with those two plays. They both had huge games in Chicago, so it feels good to at least get those two right. And then James Harden literally had 41 points, did everything else except for grab rebounds. Only had 1 rebound last night. Very disappointing from him, but overall, 2-2 on the night. We technically did lose units. We were down 0.13 units after last night. Again, not awful, but also not very good at the same time. And our single season record now 70-63 overall in the year. We are still technically down from a unit standpoint because of some higher risk we took earlier in the year, 0.17 units. But overall, we have handed out more winners than we have had losers. But all right, guys, enough recapping. Let's get into today's picks. 4-leg parlay coming your way right now. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and jump into the Outlier screen now. Shout out to Outlier for being the best sports betting tool on the market. You can go ahead and look in the link for the plays. There will be a link on that page to go ahead and check Outlier out for yourself and get a 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. Now, for today's parlay, I am using FanDuel. I've been using a lot of DraftKings lately, so I'm trying to show some love to the FanDuel people. This 4-leg parlay is available on FanDuel. You can find other legs on other sportsbooks. You can adjust it slightly to go ahead and make it available on other sportsbooks. But for the specific parlay I'm handing out in today's video, it is a FanDuel built parlay. All right. First leg of our 4-leg parlay. Again, it's all coming from this Bucks Thunder game. 8:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks over half a three-pointer or 1+ three-pointer. However, it's structured. We just need him to hit 1 three-pointer in this leg cashes. It is available on a lot of sports books for varying odds. So again, you don't have to use FanDuel, but again, this parlay is built using FanDuel. And spoiler alert, guys, all of the data for all these props are going to be solid because they're all alternate lines. So you're going to see a lot of green on every single prop. There isn't bad data on any of these props. So the last 10 games for Chris Middleton, 80% hit rate. He's hit this over in 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 1.4 3-pointers per game. He hasn't played much this year so far in 2024. He's only appeared in 4 games for Milwaukee, but in those 4 games, he's cashed this over in 3 out of 4 games, averaging 0.75 3-pointers per game. He's not taking a ton of threes, but a decent amount of volume. He's averaging 3 3-pointers attempted per game. He's shooting about 27% from 3, which is not great overall. He took 5 threes in his last game out against Atlanta. He hit just 1, but again, all we need for him is to hit 1 3-pointer, and we go ahead and we cash the over. So I'm willing to wager he'll go ahead and hit a 3. This is probably the riskiest of all 4 legs, but like I said, the data is pretty solid. In the head-to-head data, each of his previous 2 meetings with the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course, dating back to last season, he did cash the over. He had 2 3-pointers in their last meeting on April 12th, 1 3-pointer in their previous meeting before that on March 24th. Look at the volume down below. He took about 3.5 3-pointers per game. Again, this one he only took 2 threes and hit both of them. Middleton doesn't really need to take a ton in order to hit this. Again, 1 3-pointer. All it takes is really 1 shot, and he can go ahead and cash this over. You know he's taking at least 1 3 in every game, so you know there's just going to be some opportunity. Not a ton ton of opportunity, but a decent amount overall. I'm pretty happy with this prop. Last 20 games, two dating back to last year, 85% hit rate, 17 of his last 20 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 1.55 3-pointers per game. So good numbers all across the board. Overall, the Thunder, they're not giving up a ton of threes to opposing teams versus small forwards, which Middleton does play a little bit. They're 30th, giving up 3.7 3-pointers per game. Versus shooting guards, they're actually the second best, only 3.3. But again, all we need is one 3-pointer. So that average is 3.3. All we need for him is to hit one 3-pointer. So I like the spot here for Chris Middleton. For our second leg, we're sticking with the Milwaukee Bucks side of things. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo over 26.5 points. Again, this is a heavy alternate line, but the data is fantastic. Each of his last 10 games, he's managed to cash the over, averaging 34.4 points per game over his last 10 games. He's been going crazy lately. You could probably go a little bit higher here, but we're playing a little on the safer side, looking for Giannis to score 27 points in this one. He scored 30 or more points in 9 of his last 10 games, so he's actually gone over 30 points in a lot. So, again, you could go a little higher if you're willing to be a little riskier. It obviously would help the odds for the parlay a little bit more, but I'm playing a little safer here. So far this year in 2024, a 74% hit rate, 17 out of 23 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 32.7 points per game this season. So you see here, that's that 10-game stretch that he's on. Even the first half of the season, although not as consistently, he was still hitting it at a pretty high rate. Head-to-head data so far. Now, again, we only have one data point here last season. The last time they played on March 24th, he had 30 points in that game. Again, like I just mentioned, San Francisco, Oklahoma City versus small forwards, 30th in points allowed, 27.3 versus power forwards. They're third. Giannis, again, is one of these guys where he doesn't really have a natural position. He's technically a small forward or a power forward. I don't really know. He plays between these two positions, more of like a point forward, I guess you could say, kind of a hybrid position. He's listed as a power forward technically, but he does play some minutes at the 3. You know, when Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez are on the court at the same time, obviously Giannis is more of a 3. I think that Giannis should be able to score 27 points, especially in a playoff atmosphere. You know, Giannis, and he's very competitive in these kind of spots. I expect him to score at least 30s, but 27 points, absolute for sure. By the way, guys, we just hit the 7-minute mark in today's video, so if you are still watching, please comment 7 down below. As always, guys, we really do appreciate those who watch all the way through. Yes, I know you're just here for the picks, but it's very important to listen to the analysis and stuff. We put a lot of hard work into each and every video, so those who do watch all the way through and don't just click on the link right to the plays, we appreciate you guys. So comment 7 down below if you are still watching today's video. Let me know who's with me. All right, guys, our third leg of our 4-leg parlay, we're going Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Thunder over 25.5 points. He's been an absolute tear, just like Giannis has an absolute tear over his last 10 games. You see 100% hit rate, averaging 32.6 points per game over his last 10 games. So far in 2024, an 80% hit rate, 20 of his last 25 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 30.28 points per game. 15 consecutive cashes on this over of 25.5 points for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a really great run for him. The head-to-head data also pretty solid. You see here, actually not very solid. He failed to cash the over both times he played in Milwaukee last year, which is actually kind of surprising to see, although you do see the minutes. 30 minutes, 28.7, so pretty decent amount of minutes. Looks like he just didn't shoot the ball very well. I mean, 21 shots, 33% from the floor, 12 shots, 42% from the floor. Had a couple of bad shooting performances. Actually kind of surprised to see the head-to-head data be that way, but over on Milwaukee, they've actually gotten better defensively, but the one area where they're consistently not very good is versus point guards. This is the worst defensive team in the NBA against point guards, giving up 28.7 points per game. Damian Lillard, at this point in his career, just cannot play defense. That's why I like the spot. Not only the fact that he cashed it in 15 consecutive games, look at the last 20 games. 17 of his last 20 games, 85% hit rate, averaging 31.15 points per game. Even though you have that insane data, one of the reasons why I love it even more than all of that data is the fact that you have this matchup versus point guards. Point guards typically have a great amount of success against Milwaukee. Now, I'm sure the Bucks are not just going to let him go haywire. They're going to try and throw something at him. But the problem with the Thunder is, what are you supposed to do? Because you also have to worry about Jalen Williams. You got to worry about, obviously, Chet Holmgren's out. But they've got a lot to throw at you, especially in the backcourt with Jalen Williams and Shai. And you also have Caruso off the bench. So I just don't see where Milwaukee defensively is going to be able to slow him down, especially with the way he's been playing lately. I think Shai is going to have a very big game going up against Damian Lillard. So I like this spot here for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And the odds show it's minus 360 on FanDuel, for good reason. And the fourth and final prop in today's parlay, going back to the the Milwaukee side of things, we have Bobby Portis under 9.5 rebounds. Again, this is another alternate line. He's cashed this under in 8 of his last 10 games, an 80% hit rate, averaging 7.7 rebounds per game over his last 10 games. If you go ahead and stretch that out to the last 20 games, it's still really solid. 85% hit rate, 17 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 7.65 rebounds per game. Again, this is obviously an alternate line. It's an elevated line. Typically, this line would not be this high, but again, That's the beauty of betting alternate lines. Sometimes you get lines that you typically would not get. So far in 2024, a 79% hit rate on the the under. He's cashed the under in 19 out of 24 games this season. Again, averaging 7.67 rebounds per game. So it's not like Bobby Portis isn't grabbing rebounds. It's just he's not elevating that line. He's not getting 10 or more rebounds. He's only cashed it this year in 5 games. 5 out of his 24 games has actually cashed the over. A majority of the time he's cashing the under. And overall this year, the Thunder, they're not a very good rebounding team. 29th in the NBA in rebounds allowed. So why would I like this spot? Well, down low versus power forwards, they're actually top 10. They only give up 9.6 rebounds per game. They are top 10 in the NBA in rebounds allowed to power forwards, and the head-to-head data is also not too shabby. Each of his previous 2 meetings with the Thunder, of course, again dating back to last season, he did cash this under 100% hit rate, averaging 7 rebounds per game. He had 6 rebounds on March 24th and 8 rebounds on April 12th. So overall, the data seems to be pretty solid. He did have a decent amount of rebound chances in those games, but I do like the spot here on the under for Bobby Portis. He's playing about 24 minutes per game, although you see in some of these playoff games, these NBA Cup games, you do see his minutes do increase a bit. And the rebound chances, about 12 rebound chances per game, but I just don't like the spot for him for his over. I think under 9.5 rebounds is a really safe spot here for Bobby Portis. All right, guys, we'll plug that into FanDuel here. So a recap of all 4 legs. We have Chris Middleton to make 1 3-pointer. Giannis Antetokounmpo over 26.5 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 25.5 points. And Bobby Portis under 9.5 rebounds. You parlay all 4 together, you get a parlay of plus 265 odds. So the odds actually went up since we started recording. Plus 265 odds. Pretty solid value. 4-leg parlay. They're all alternate lines you saw across the board. Each of them had at least a 75% hit rate on their data on the year. So really good numbers there. Again, I will post these plays in the pinned comment down below. But guys, that's it for me today. Thank you very much as always for watching. One more time, guys, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. And make sure to check out the GuyBostonSports.com website. Ton of great stuff there. All of our picks are going to be there between myself, Ev, Trey. We're all going to be there. All of our videos are posted onto there as well as some additional picks. I like to post some parlays randomly sometimes. So make sure if you haven't checked out the website, check that out. Join our Discord. We have a lot of great ways to communicate with us and to even share more content and more plays. So make sure you're following us on all those avenues, all those outlets, my Instagram at Tassos Picks, all that great stuff. Guy Boston Sports is evolving, man. We don't just have one channel. We have 2 channels. We each have our own Instagram page. We got a website. We got a Discord. We got all that great stuff. So guys, so much great ways, so much great content, so many great ways to get in contact with us and to kind of communicate with us and share more picks and share more things. So make sure you're following us on all of those things. All right, that's it for today. Now, obviously tomorrow, no video because there's no NBA on tomorrow. So a little bit of a break following this NBA Cup game. Now, originally I did say on December 18th, we'd start our Christmas ladder challenge. Of course, I was an idiot and didn't realize that there wasn't a game tomorrow. So our Christmas ladder challenge will start on Thursday, December 19th. Our last ladder challenge we did earlier in the month, which feels like forever ago, but it was really just 2 weeks ago. We were off to a really good start. I think we had cash in 4 consecutive days. We made it all the way to day 5 of the ladder. We were up over like 13 units. It was a great time. We're going to start it again on December 19th. The goal, of course, can we cash a parlay every single day until we get to Christmas? That's the goal. We'll see if we can do it again. We got really close. The goal was a week last time. We made it to day 5, so we got very close to getting to the top of the ladder. This time around, I'm feeling pretty good about it, getting to Christmas, cashing all those parlays. So make sure to subscribe and tune in for the start of our Christmas ladder challenge. I'm also probably going to do some single bets as well as the parlay, just because there's going to be a pretty hefty, I think it's a decent slate on Thursday. But no matter what, how many games they're on, you're going to get a parlay and you'll probably get a couple single bet picks as well. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys all back here on Thursday for another NBA player prop video. Until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy the NBA Cup final. Enjoy the next couple days. I'll see you back here on Thursday.